Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Hey.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome, you Mary Nesberg.
Is this a road trip? No.
Not really. We are not really.
Hey, I might claim mileage today. I don't know. I don't know.
God,
It counts as a
you
road
claim
trip.
miles today. Hey, good morning, everybody. Where are we, Tom?
We're in a cornfield and oats field. I don't know.
We
We're
are
at a
at
research
we are at an
facility.
agricultural research facility. Most of you know it. It's just on the east side of town. It would be the northwest corner of East Circle Drive and 4th Street or College View Road. And this is a research facility that is used with DNR, University of Minnesota Extension, Olmsted SWCD. All of the folks get together and use this old farm site. It's actually what it is. It's an old farm. It hasn't been developed yet. And do an ag research. And we are here
With
highlighting
our new educator, extension
Da-da-da.
educator. You know, we're part of the extension. 20 years it's been since Olmsted County has had their own extension educator. So Mary Nesberg, tell us about yourself. What's
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, so I hail, I'm a native from Rochester.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. So graduate of Century High School, and then went off to school. went off to school at University of Wisconsin La Crosse, and that's kind of where I narrowed in on secondary science. So it was in the biology, chemistry realm, and kind of teaching 6th through 12th graders for a bit there. Spent some time out in Colorado, leading lots of kids on field trips, which was cool.
That
So-
looked pretty cool. I saw some of the pictures.
yeah, did some work on urban gardens there, and took kids out to sustainable farms and camped in the pastures and
Nice.
helped them out, make chicken coops and all the things. So my time out there kind of inspired me to pivot into land conservation, really. So
yeah,
just
you
kind
and
of
Kelly have a lot of common interests there.
Yep.
Because you didn't grow up on a farm. I didn't grow up on a farm.
Correct.
Even though I'm from Iowa.
Right.
Kelly had probably a little bit more experience in gardening and stuff. But I love biology, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so gardening is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
took it to this level.
Yeah, so back, I kind of got a good homestead running up in Denver that we left when we moved here during COVID, but we had chickens and bees and a pretty good vegetable garden, and it was just kind of cool, and I got really inspired from that time out there, and here I am in soil and water health. So decided to press go on some courses here, and I'm just finishing up a precision ag certification at Riverland Technical College over in Austin.
Nice.
Which has just kind of been a nice general introduction to like giant row crop production and conservation issues and the awesome tech that farmers have access to. Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about, agriculture in Olmsted County, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's more women farming.
Yeah.
There's less lamb, less cow production or milk.
Yep.
And less. Let's see, what's the other one?
A little bit of decline in sheep.
Yeah, sheep. I
Yes.
guess pigs and hogs or whatever.
Right,
Kind of
right.
stable. But
Yeah, so Tom's talking about the National Agriculture Statistical Service, which kind of helps to consolidate lots of that ag census data that comes out once every 5 years. So the last time it was done was 2022, and the data is now just kind of looking pretty for us to look at and understand. But yeah, there were some trends in Olmsted County, huge growth in small and emerging farmers.
That's what I saw,
Olmsted County is one of the ones, and I actually talk about this in my thesis that I did in 2019. Olmsted County is kind of a leader in southeast Minnesota in putting those small farms onto the landscape. At least they were back in 2019, and it is just growing more and more. And I'm glad to see that USDA is pumped up, and we've now got that urban ag small farms office up in the cities now. We installed all those offices, so that's really great.
And she's an emerging farmer.
Yeah.
She's female, so
Yeah.
statistically she's right in there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And how much do they make on an average farm?
They were making, so the commodities went up quite a bit, market value from 2017 to 2022, as we would expect.
Yep.
So I think it topped out now at the average commodity sales for a bigger size farm would be about 330,000.
Wow,
was
okay.
kind of topping out over there. Maybe I can post those slides on the Facebook page.
That'd be probably
Yeah,
good.
do that.
Yeah.
Drop those in. Drop those in the comments underneath our video.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, a little bit of decline in some livestock, which we're seeing statewide. It's hard to
Nationally.
be in dairy production, lots of consolidation happening there. And then a little bit of decrease in sheep, and then
Oh, it was sheep.
Yep. And a little bit of loss in kind of that smaller acreage parcels. Things are getting kind of accumulated or probably developed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you're 1 to 9 parcels.
Yeah, especially if you're closer in.
Yep.
We've lost a lot of ag in Olmsted County just because of those development.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even think there's any agricultural zoning left in Rochester city limits.
Yeah, I haven't.
Maybe in the
that,
southeast, but the water table's so high over there. That,
And just the cost of equipment, you know, the tractors and things to manage a farm. If you got like, what is the median was like 79 acres, so that's a lot of land to just you gotta have equipment to do that.
Yep.
And
that's why the small farms are picking up. You can be people powered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Kelly knows that.
People powered.
Machinery and Tom doesn't go good together. So let's talk a little bit about the crops here. So
yeah. So what's happening here, kind of in the center of this plot, as you're driving by and looking, you'll see huge stands of corn.
Yep.
And I was just out here mid-June, actually the end of June, for a field day with Ryan Miller, the regional educator on crops. And he's doing a bunch of herbicide trials out here. So he's testing a bunch of different combination of herbicides just to kind of see what's working and what's not. And the biggest issue that day was just huge herbicide resistance from water hemp. So water hemp is just kind of a nasty crop, which I actually don't see it right here. I see lots of giant ragweed, which is another big problem.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of water hemp at the start. See that like kind of orange.
You want to look at the oats here?
Yeah.
Let's look at
So yeah, they were talking about ways to manage water hemp when your herbicide selections go down.
Fail.
Because they're kind of just on 1 or 2 that are working. So not a good scene there.
No.
These are small grains, oats, planted by Olmsted Soil and Water, and they have like a soil health farm out here, right?
Yes.
So they can kind of run their own research. They just posted data yesterday on their Facebook page where they have some lysimeters buried in the ground, which are these big kind of tubes that go down into the ground, and they measure nitrates in the groundwater at certain depths, right? Wow. And that's what's kind of all on our mind. Water. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And
actually, surface water and groundwater are the same here in Olmsted County.
Right.
Bowser, we decided that.
Right.
We said southeast Minnesota doesn't have a differentiation, and Martin has done. He knows that stuff from checking out. So does Jeff. I forget Jeff's last name, but yeah, just sending the microchips and the dye down through the caverns and seeing how quickly it
several
moves.
of those tubes running in this.
Yeah, and what they saw when they planted these small oats, and they've been collecting data, is just a huge decrease in nitrates leaching out down below in the surface, which is good. Yeah. We want the roots of our crops to be able to hold on to nitrates so that they're not getting into the groundwater sources.
So of course we've had a very wet spring in the summer. What are the farmers facing? What are they trying to deal with right now?
Yeah, so pretty much a very big lack of oxygen in the soils.
Coming into the roots and
and so when roots are just kind of flooded out persistently for many days in a row, especially as it starts to get warmer, it really puts a dent on soybeans. Corn are having a tough time, especially in those low areas of the field.
A lot of the specialty crops are experiencing that too.
Yeah.
It's just it's been difficult without not a lot of heat as well to help things grow.
Right.
So they're not naturally pulling that water out of the soil.
Yep.
Increased organic matter helps.
Right.
But it doesn't help when you get, what was it? I had 12 plus inches of rain in I don't know,
like about
14 days.
So,
It's
been
a lot.
I think I read 24 inches of the year to date at Rochester International Airport. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
I looked it up last night.
It's so varied though, because we got a lot of UHI, urban heat island, going on here in Rochester. So it really varies. The north side can get a lot, or the south side can get a lot. And I mean, you can just look. You can have a torrential downpour in one quadrant of the city, and the other side of the city doesn't even experience it.
Yeah.
It's
Yesterday
so very long.
it was kind of raining southwest of us pretty much all day.
Yeah,
back and forth,
it didn't even just evaporated as it got to the heat of the city.
Yeah.
So how does tiling affect? I see, I'm from Iowa again. I'm driving through the fields and there's tiling going on all the time.
Yeah.
So
So drainage tiling gets installed in predominantly like flat, low-lying fields. And the point of it is to remove the excess water out of the soil so that you can create some of those air pockets for plants to
Okay.
be successful. We don't have as much drainage tile here in the driftless area
Yeah, I noticed
because
that,
our
yep.
topography
Yep.
is so varied. It's not just like flat fields like you might get west of us in Mower
Yeah.
County.
Yep.
So there's definitely a lot more drainage
Yeah,
tile
okay.
there. But we do still have it. And although it helps crops become established, it can be kind of a fast track to get nitrates right into the water.
Yep.
Because they drop down into the
Yeah.
tile, and the
Boom.
tile goes right into a drainage outlet or stream and hits the nearest waterway, and that's it.
Yep.
Nitrogen doesn't stay. You can fertilize every week, and if you get a lot of rain,
There it goes.
it goes.
Yeah, nitrogen usually moves through the soil within roughly about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is one of the contributing issues. So now on Bowser, we're looking at how do we take care of the nitrates in the state, particularly southeast Minnesota, where we have that surface water to groundwater that's almost instantaneous movement,
Yeah.
but also they're the same thing, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's huge.
Yep.
It's huge, and of course, then just carry that down to the Gulf, and we've got 50% larger dead zone this year than we've had before.
Yep.
And the fishermen, it's just that aquaculture is really having a problem.
Yeah.
10 to 15 years ago, it was like, ooh, aquaculture is going to save the world for protein production. It's like, no, now we're seeing those diseases transferring to wild fish and just the killing off of the certain ground plants that are at the bottom of the water,
Mhm.
and because of all the excess nutrients coming from the food and
Yeah.
feces and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a serious issue that goes far beyond our watershed
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But locally, there's some things that farmers are starting to do, which is really encouraging
Mhm.
to see.
Mhm.
Olmsted County Soil and Water has a super, I would say, pretty progressive groundwater protection program.
Yep.
And so they're offering financial incentives, so payments to farmers per acre for 3 things. So you can plant a cover crop on your ground, and those kind of shoulder seasons, and the cover crops are going to help keep the nitrates up towards the surface of the soil, so your next year's crop can really use them and they don't leach away. You can also get a stipend for growing small grains, so like an oats, because we know that those roots go really deep, they stay in the ground for a long time, so that helps keep the nitrates. And then the third thing that they added, which is kind of cool to see, is a livestock option. So they're getting haying and grazing,
Mm-hmm.
a stipend for that, and that's hopefully to get livestock back into ag, because it's kind of been separated a lot, and a lot of people have
Yeah.
gotten out of dairy cattle,
Right.
and really, without ruminants on our landscape, it's hard to regenerate the soil.
Exactly.
There's not bison
Exactly.
running around
Yeah.
like there
Right.
used to be.
Right, and
Yeah.
the whole agricultural system it's cyclical, and
Mhm.
it's a chain that follows itself. And when you eliminate those producers, segregate them out into different like silos, literally,
Hmm.
you're losing that ability to help each other. The grains aren't there, and then the deposits of the nutrients that are animal waste, but actually the soil needs that. Yeah, you can't separate that out. You've got to have that whole system, which is why those small farms are so important, because they're bringing that system back together. It's more holistic,
Yep.
and everything's
Yeah.
working together instead
Yep.
of separating it out and only focusing on one
Yep.
one selection of the
Yeah.
agricultural system.
And farmers with acreage of 150 acres or below are eligible for that Olmsted program. They were even talking in the office, do we go as low as a quarter of an acre, a half an acre? And they were
Mhm.
kind of
Ooh,
debating
that's
when I was
close.
there.
How many acres
So,
are you?
check it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, check
Yeah.
that out. And
Yeah.
you might notice here, so we're Master Gardeners. Carolee and I met in the Master Gardener program here, but Extension includes agriculture, and we're so excited to have an agriculture and natural science, natural resources, I guess, educator with us now. And so,
Thank you,
talk a little
Olmsted
bit.
County
Yeah.
Commissioners. Oh my gosh, we've been asking this for a couple years, so thank you for rising up and funding that process to get Mary here. We are very happy.
Yep, and we kind of been morphing a little bit more into ag because, like I said, Kelly's an urban farmer now, and so you might see us talk a little bit more about topics like that, and maybe welcome Mary back for another subject or something.
Yeah,
like
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So right now you are covering ag, 4-H, the gardening, which is the Master Gardener
yeah.
portion. How much involvement do you have with SNAP, those extension educators, nutrition educators?
Yeah, so I'm covering ag and then horticulture issues.
Yep.
Okay.
So anyone coming to me with plants, technical advice about their trees,
Yep.
oak trees are dying or
Yep.
different funguses they're seeing or fungi. And then I help with Master Gardeners. We actually have people dedicated to 4-H in the office,
Yeah.
so that's great. But I share an office with them. Then there's Snap Ed in the office as well. Those are all the extension folks.
Yep.
And then in my office is also Graham Farmers Market, but it's kind of just
Right.
like their storage closet,
Yeah.
or they're active on the weekends, so
Yeah.
we don't really see
Yeah.
them too much.
And we're in the process of hiring a new admin, so
Yes.
everybody needs admin, right, Kelly?
Please.
Everybody needs admin.
Everybody needs admin. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah,
you
thank you so
you
much.
really saved us over the last
So we have a
3
new
years.
saying now, but should we just say "ag on," Kelly? Or
Ag on.
Ag on.
I love it.
Ag
Ag
on,
on,
everybody.
ag
Bye
on.
bye.